Hey guys, Houls here from Houls Fitness, back for another Q&A Monday. We're going to jump straight into it because I don't want to waste your time. So the first question comes from Michelle Wilson, and she's asked, is there a benefit to having a leg day, upper body day, etc. compared to doing a full body workout each day? Alright, well first, it's going to depend on the individual, and what you've got to understand is everyone is different. However, a straight up answer, is there any benefit? It depends on what your goals are. If, for example, you're a bodybuilder, what you essentially want to do is create each muscle individually in proportion to the rest of your body. Basically like an artist would sculpt a model. That's essentially what a bodybuilder does, or a body sculptor does, because they're actually sculpting their body. They're actually building their body. So what they would tend to do is hit single muscle groups on each day. That way they can build up their shoulders as evenly as they're building up their legs. So what you also want to consider is how often you want to hit a particular muscle. I personally only do one muscle part once a week, so I'll only hit chest once a week, legs once a week, arms once a week, shoulders, etc. once a week. However, if you do insist on doing one body part twice a week or even 3 times a week, essentially I would suggest, now this is a controversial topic, how many times a week someone would actually hit a muscle part, but if you go, I would recommend, if you're going to hit a muscle part more than once a week, I would do it a day where it's heavy, for example, and it's, puts a lot of stimulus on the muscle. And then if you're going to do it, make sure you've got adequate rest, being up to 48 hours, and then hit it. If you're going to hit it again, do it at a lighter progressive load. So one heavy day and one lighter day, and that's what I do on a, if you're going to hit that body part twice a week. Also, a lot of people are time poor, so doing a full body workout is very ample for them. So in regards to benefits, no, there's not. As long as you're going to build up a tolerance for any muscle, any way you do it. So I would suggest the fact that you're even getting into the gym or doing a body workout, whether it be upper, lower or leg, is great, because you're actually in the gym or you're actually active anyway. So as far as beneficial, depends on your goal. If you're just wanting to lose weight and tone up, then a full body workout 3 days a week, making sure that you're not hitting the same body part every one of those 3 days is great. Like I said, your muscle needs adequate rest. If you're going to continuously hit that same muscle and that same exercise every day throughout the week, essentially what you're going to do is make that muscle shorter, and it won't be as dense, and because you're constantly ripping the muscle. Now what you want to be able to do is rip it enough that when it grows back, it actually grows some size to it. So imagine this is your muscle here, and you've ripped it. So this is essentially what will happen. You'll rip it and you'll create scarring to bring the muscle back together, essentially making it bigger. Just like a scar would. When you rip it apart, it comes back together, but there's that muscle or that, that layer of skin that's actually brought it together. Think of that like your muscle that's growing back. So when you rip it, and then it's trying to make that scar tissue, that muscle tissue, to grow bigger, and then you go and hit it again and rip it again, it's constantly under that pressure, so you're never actually stabilizing and making that full muscle. I hope that makes sense. So back to the question real quick, is there a benefit to having a leg day upper? No, just hit them, but make sure that you're getting enough rest that it enables your muscle to grow. So there's a lot of stemming questions and a lot of other controversial topics that would run off that one. That's why it's a great question. But if you're a beginner and you're just looking to make gains, just get into the gym and just do a full body workout 3 days a week. Just make sure you're hitting different muscles each time that you go and do an upper or lower or a leg. You might want to hit upper and you do chest and shoulders, and then maybe on the other day you go and do an arm workout, and then maybe you come back to chest but you do different exercises. I don't know, but that's what I would suggest. So is there a benefit? Not really. just getting into the gym, unless you're goal orientated for, if you're a power lifter and you're looking for strength, then you probably would hit that individual lifts. So you might just go in and do your deadlifts 3 days a week, but you wouldn't do them heavy. You would progressively overload. So one day, like I said, would be heavy. The following day would probably be more reps. So the first day would be more weight, lower reps. Maybe the second day would be lower weight, higher reps. That way it's giving your muscles a chance to grow and repair, like I said. So in answer to your question, Michelle, is there a benefit to having a leg day, upper day? Not one over the other, but it will depend on your goals. But if you're just starting out wanting to tone up, lose weight, anything you do is going to be beneficial, because the more muscle we have, the more fat we burn. All right, so on to question 2. How important is nutrition if someone works out consistently? And this one's come from Fiona Wingwright. I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, if I pronounce your name a bit wrong, I'm sorry. But okay, so how important is nutrition if someone works out consistently? And the answer is very. Because if you don't feed your muscles enough and you're consistently working out, then again, your body will need to get the nutrients from somewhere, so it will break down the muscle that it has. It won't. The first place your body's going to look for nutrition will be, unfortunately, in the muscle that you've worked so hard to gain. So, is nutrition important? Extremely important, and you need to make sure you're getting enough of the right stuff, the macronutrients, your carbs, your fats, your proteins, to fuel your body on a daily basis to keep your gains or your progression consistent. If you lack in nutrition, then your body will show, and you'll lack in muscle content, definition, toning up, all those things we all want. But if your nutrition again isn't on point, then all the working out in the world won't do a damn thing. You can't out-train a bad diet, so you need to make sure that you're getting the proper energy sources. So, your carbohydrates, don't be scared of them, your proteins and your fats. Myself, I have, at the moment, in comp prep, I have a high protein, high carbohydrate and low fat diet. If you're interested to know my macros, question below, and I'll get back to you on that one. So how important is nutrition if someone works out consistently? Very, very. Make sure you're getting enough protein to fuel that muscle to help the muscle repair, and so you can actually grow. So again, the more muscle we have, the more fat we burn. And that's our overall goal for most of us. Depending on your specific needs, get to know your nutrition. It's that simple. Okay, so question 3 comes from Nabal Ashid. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Nable. Anyway, Nabal. Question 3. Is it a good idea to work out when feeling mentally stressed? If so, why? If not, why not? Okay, so I know you've probably seen all those memes. Good day, go to the gym. Bad day, go to the gym. Relationship problems, go to the gym. All those silly things. And it's so true, because obviously when we go to the gym or we work out, don't have to go to the gym necessarily, but when we're working out and we're feeling stressed, we release endorphins. And I know everybody, once they finish the gym, no matter what they were doing beforehand or before they went exercising, no matter what, it feigned out and you finished and you're just so grateful that you did it. So that's a no-brainer question. I do appreciate it, but however, there is a downside and there is an opposite to this coin as well, because when we go to the gym stressed, there's a thing called cortisone, and cortisol in our body is released. It's a hormone that's released from our adrenal gland, and what essentially happens is it deters us from making those gains, losing fat and or creating muscle. So when we go to the gym stressed, we do have a high tolerance and a high amount of cortisol running through our body. So we are actually hindering potential progressive gains. Enough, probably not, because you're not going to it would take a lot, but it is apparent. So when you go to the gym and you're stressed, you are actually doing somewhat catabolic damage to your body, meaning that you are actually stopping yourself from burning fat, and or you are dipping into sources that you don't particularly want to touch, and I mean that meaning muscle. because your body will fuel on muscle if it's extremely overstressed. Thing with cortisone, I'll give you an example, is when you wake up, your cortisol levels are at their highest because you've actually gone through a period of not eating. So whether it be 8 or 10 hours that you sleep or whatever, you've actually gone through a period where you're not eating. So your body's under a lot of pressure, releasing a lot of cortisol, because it's actually a defense mechanism your body has. As good as it is, it's also a deterring factor when it comes to weight loss and or muscle gain. But when in the morning our cortisol levels are so high, that's why we're needing breakfast, because break fast, you're actually breaking a fast to essentially release and allow your cortisol levels to drop, because your food, you're now not in when you eat, you're not in a state where you need to have a defense mechanism up to, you're not in a fight or flight mode because you actually fueled your body with your break fast. So is it a good idea to work out when feeling mentally stressed? It is, and it isn't. It definitely, the is outweighs the isn't by far. However, just keep that in mind, that when you are overly stressed, maybe go to the gym and do something light, because all you need is a change of action to mentally take away stress. So you don't necessarily have to be in the gym and you're lifting weights and you're going heavy as you can or whatever. Maybe just get on the treadmill or something, or just go for a walk just to appease that cortisol level and bring it down a bit. And maybe when you're feeling a little bit better, then go in and hit your workout hard. Some people do a lot better. They'll just go in there and they're stressed out and they just hit the gym and they forget all about it. That's something that I do. Get in, start lifting weights straight away. I haven't found it a hindrance. I mean, there's many times when after work you're stressed out and you go and hit the gym and then you feel great. It's because when you're stressed, your cortisol levels have gone up, and obviously when you come back from the gym, they're at their lowest and you feel great. You've released endorphins. You've got that natural high going on. So is it a good idea to work out when feeling mentally stressed? In my personal opinion, yes, it is, absolutely, because not only is it beneficial to you, but it's also beneficial to your family, your partner, and your friends that you're around, because sometimes you just, you're crazy when you're stressed. All right, so next question 4. Getting through these a bit faster than I did last week. So question 4 comes from Liz Matthews, and actually every woman that I've ever spoken to, who, not to say isn't uneducated, but is just curious about the topic. And the question is, I don't want to get too bulky. Should women lift weights? Now, every woman wants to know this. Short answer, yes, absolutely. Every woman should lift weights, because, again, it comes down to the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn. When women say they want to tone up, essentially what they want to do is not be flabby. Now, if you're going to go out and you're going to run 100 miles a day and you're also going to drop your calories, what's going to happen is you're going to create a massive deficit in your caloric intake. So obviously you're going to feed off your own body. Therefore, like I said before, you're not going to tap into fats, you're going to be tapping into muscle. So therefore your muscle will reduce and you'll get that appearance that is skinny fat. No one wants to do, everyone wants to look good, but they want to look good naked. So when you think about it like that, it's one thing to look good with clothes on, but to actually be able to show off your progress, in a bikini or in gym shorts or whatever for guys, you need to be lifting weights to have that tone. But you also need to accommodate the lifting weights and the activity level with your nutrition, and it has to be a good balance. If you want to know more about that and your balance, go put a comment below, or go to my link for the online coaching, and I obviously offer meal and diet plans and general advice, etc. A woman will not get bulky. Now, sometimes you'll see a lot of women that are bulky, but that's because they take testosterone and they'll take HGH, human growth hormones. Now, they're the women that compete on a professional level, and all the power to them. That's their own choice. That's great. You will not look like them unless you are taking these drugs. A woman does not have enough testosterone to produce that bulky mass that the women that you see sometimes are. You can build a great physique, greatly toned, and all of a sudden you're not gonna turn into a bodybuilder woman like that overnight. So you'll see your body change, and if you feel like you're getting too bulky or you're heading that way, easily you can cut back on the training and or increase your diet. Because if you're getting to a point where you're that lean and that defined that you're looking too bulky, that means you're getting into a shredded stage where you're probably not eating enough, or it's perfect for you and you're losing all the fat and all you have is muscle. So you're going to look very, very toned and very, very defined. You will not get too bulky, I promise you that. And I can guarantee you, as you progress into that stage where you are becoming defined, it will become such an addiction anyway that you won't even care. Your body will be a representation of your dedication. So I promise you, you will not get too bulky. And or if you start to look like a natural bodybuilder, you will love it, because it becomes an addiction when you know how much effort you've put into your body and it starts to look the way that you train. So yeah, should women lift weights? Absolutely. Question, you want to lose weight? The answer is lift weight. Alright, so let's wrap that one up. And last question, question number 5 comes from Damien Cantridi. And he asks, how frequently should people change their workout routine? Now, I've done a video on this and I'll link it below. But when it comes to your workout routine, basically a very simple answer is change the routine when you're bored with it and or you plateau. Meaning that if you're trying to lose weight and your scales plateau and you stay at a certain weight, perhaps you need to incorporate more energy burning tactics. So you could incorporate supersets or more cardio. I know people don't like that, but more cardio, or you could go the nutrition route. But let's just stick with our program question, workout program question. Hitting a plateau means that your body's adapted to a certain program. Now that doesn't mean you have to go and change your program up altogether. Now simply you could just go and add more repetitions to each exercise and or add a more load, or meaning more weight to the bar. So that's what they call progressive overload. So if you've hit a plateau and it's too easy, then go up in weights. You don't have to necessarily change the workout plan or workout routine. What all you have to do is either increase the intensity or perhaps just add a bit more variety to it. But you don't necessarily have to change the routine, and you don't frequently have to change it. I mean, I've been on the same workout routine for 6 months, but I have a 4-week cycle. So I have a 1 week shoulder, the second week's going to be a different shoulder one, and the third and fourth are also different again, and then I just rotate that 4-week cycle. You can do it like that, or you can stick to the one routine. But how frequently should people change their workout routine? I would only change it if you get bored, and or you've hit a plateau and you're looking at making significant gains, whether it be a loss or whatever, more muscle. Then and there's a lot of workout routines out there, and the thing is you're actually doing something, so that's great. The fact that you could get bored of a routine means you've done it that often that you've obviously seen some gains or loss, depending which way you want to go. But Damien, I hope that answers your question. I wouldn't mix up your workout routine much. Very often. Just when you get bored, it's always nice to try new things. Maybe you want to try a strength program for a while. Maybe you want to try a powerlifting routine, a bodybuilding routine, or whatever want to do. Ladies, you essentially can do the same. It doesn't matter. Same for girls and guys. There's not really that much difference in regards to a workout routine. It all just depends on your goals. I would say outline your goals. What are they? And then work towards them. That's actually probably a theme throughout this whole questionnaire, is just making sure that you set your goals and you work towards them. Alright guys, I've kept it under 20 minutes this time. Probably still a little bit longer than I wanted to. But that's our Q&A Monday for this week. Any questions, don't forget to get them in. And as usual, comment and subscribe, and I'll get back to you and we'll see you again next week. See you later. Bye.